Pilate stands before the angry mob gathered outside his headquarters, bringing with him a prisoner, who he moves into their view, gently, to avoid getting blood on his own hands, and because he has a strange respect for the man. "Here is the man," he shouts. Here is the man, dressed in purple robe, crown of thorns, bleeding, standing with dignity but just barely, broken, but exuding otherworldly authority. Here is the man, looking softly, compassionately out over the crowd, devoid of the hardness or fear in the eyes of most prisoners destined to die. Here is the man, hated by the crowds for failing to meet their expectations of a warrior king, their shouts of "Crucify" driving nails through his heart before through his hands. Here is the man, betrayed by a friend, given with a kiss to the soldiers. His other friends have abandoned him, denied him, and fled, yet he has loved them to the end. Here is the man, hauled before the political authorities by the religious authorities for coloring outside the lines, threatening to undermine the economic, political, social, religious order in the name of love. Here is the man, calm and centered, refusing violence or aggression, ready to die for the shouting crowd and for Pilate and for Judas, ready to die for the crowds who shout at other victims, for the future betrayers and colluders, oppressors and bystanders. Here is the man. And also, here is God. Here is God dressed in a purple robe and crown of thorns, the truth of kingship revealed in a mocking act. Here is God, looking softly, compassionately out over the crowd as the cries of "Crucify" wish death upon the maker of life. Here is God, unyielding to the crowd's expectations and instead yielding to execution, knowing that the way to life is through death, overturning every imaginable expectation. Here is God, enduring betrayal and abandonment, giving over to loss and grief and sorrow, and yet loving to the end. Here is God, rejecting political and religious authority, refusing to play the games of power brokers, and opting instead to break their power, upend their authority. Here is God, calm and centered, refusing any violence or aggression, choosing to die in order that humanity might live, not some of humanity, but all of humanity. Pilate stands before the angry mob gathered outside his headquarters, bringing with him a prisoner, who he moves into their view, gently to avoid getting blood on his own hands, and because he has a strange respect for him. "Here's the man," he shouts. Here is Jesus. Thanks be to God.